The modalities of the signs. There are three modalities, and all the 12 signs fall in one of those three modalities. And the first one is called the cardinal signs, or also known as movable. Why? Because this is when the seasons change. When the sun goes into this sign, this is when the seasons change. For example, when it's in Aries, in the northern hemisphere, it becomes spring. In the southern hemisphere, it becomes autumn. When the sun is in Cancer, when the sun moves there, the summer starts. In Libra, the autumn starts for the northern hemisphere, the opposite for the southern. In Capricorn, the winter starts. So they're like pivotal points, they're like the pivots. So they're like signs of starting, signs which make things move, which make things change. That's why they're called movable, cardinal. Cardinality means something, that changes. And they're, as you can see, they're the most changeable signs. So if someone has quite a few planets in cardinal signs, they would be changeable. They would, they would like things to, if things are always the same way, they will not feel very happy, They would like diversity in a sense. They would, for example, people with a lot of cardinal signs, say you have the sun in Aries, the moon in Libra, the ascendant in Cancer, or a few planets in Capricorn or something like that, some kind of mixture which gives you a lot of cardinality, which I'll tell you how to calculate later in the next few videos. When you have someone with a lot of cardinal signs, these people often have a lot of changes that happen in their life. These can be the people that even in their 50s, they're starting their life from scratch, or that they move a lot. They might actually literally move a lot. They fare much better when they live in foreign countries, for example. A lot of people with cardinal signs, when they go abroad or when they travel, they kind of feel more natural in their own element, not element, in their own modality. I, for example, am so cardinal. I have the sun in Aries with 3 planets in Aries and 2 planets in Libra, and I live abroad and I travel every 2-3 months somewhere. So you have to expect with such people to be a little bit, less consistent, quite changeable. But they'll be very innovative. They'll be quite creative people with a lot of new ideas, with a lot of, they want to initiate change. When they go somewhere, they want to change how things work there. And these will be people who in their relationship, their relationship will be constantly changing and transforming. For example, if you have 2 people with a lot of cardinal signs, or someone with a lot of cardinal signs, every next relationship might be very different than the previous one. Or if they're in a long relationship, say you see them now and you see them 5 years from now, and their relationship has taken completely different direction. For example, they might have been very in love in the relationship, and then they have a period when they're not so in love, and then 2-3 years later they're very much in love again in the relationships. But usually they need to make some change in order, if things go bad, they need to make a change, and they make a change in order to improve the things, so to improve the relationship. So you see those people, when things go bad, they would say like, I want to go somewhere, I want to travel, or I want to change something, like let's initiate something, let's start going to the counselor, or let's try tantra, or let's try advising, or let's try something, or let's try and do a hobby together. They'll create something new, in order for the relationship to change. Or if you're in a relationship with such a person and the relationship is not going well, change something big in the way you lead the relationship. And they will this is what can keep such people in a relationship with you. If the relationship is all the time the same, if all the time you do the same things, these people get bored, or these people lose interest, or these people lose the spark, or these people feel like they're not progressing in developing. These people need to all the time develop, to progress, to start new things. And if the relationship is not giving them this, if it's not giving them new surprises, if it's not giving them new challenges, and newer depths or newer heights to climb, they will move on to a different relationship. So if you're in a relationship with such a person, or if you're counseling or advising such a person, tell them to always to look for something new, for something different, for something, to twitch, to change something, maybe to start going to a different place with their partner, to start going to a different place on a holiday, to start change their friends, or to change their social environment in some way. And when they do these little tweaks, when they do some changes, or little or big changes, the relationship will start getting better. And remember how we said that the water and earth signs, the feminine signs, are not so initiative and are more receptive, but two of those signs, Cancer and Capricorn, are also cardinal signs. So out of the feminine signs, Cancer and Capricorn are the most initiative. So even if you have a man who is with feminine signs, if he has a lot of Cancer and Capricorn in him, if these feminine signs are Cancer and Capricorn, they would have a bit more initiative than the other, than the other feminine signs. And people with masculine signs who are cardinal, Aries and Libra, these people need really like a lot of change. Just like Libra is a social butterfly, and they constantly, when you're in a relationship with Libra, you would probably notice when we speak about each sign separately after that, is that their relationships, they work a lot on the relationship. They constantly try to improve on it, to change something in the relationship, to do something new with their partner. And they experience, again, as we said, the most change in their lives. So if someone with a lot of cardinality, it might be hard for them to keep a relationship too long unless this relationship is somehow, gives them a possibility for them to change and the relationship to evolve on different stages. And I've seen people who started with a lot of cardinal signs, they were not very much in love with their partner. And then something down the line happened, and usually people say if you're not very much in love with the partner, well, it will never happen if you initially not like that. Well, actually with cardinal signs, because they take these sudden turns in their life, it can happen. Someone with a lot of cardinal signs, they might start not being in love with the partner, and then something changes in the relationship, they can become very much in love with the partner. And later on, they can fall out in love again. So. And their relationship, as you can read here, they have a lot of ups and downs because of this. So get ready for a roller coaster a bit if you're with the cardinal sign person. But most often, people are not just, they might have a bit more cardinality, but they'll have some fixity, they'll have some mutability, which we'll talk about the next modality. So people are a bit more balanced. But if you see someone out of balance, a woman with, say, ascendant moon and sun, or a man in cardinal, or quite a few planets in cardinal, you have to give them a bit more exciting, changeable relationships, and you have to be ready to change with them, and you have to be ready to do diverse things, and you have to be ready to go through ups and downs and not give up on them, because just like the things go bad for a bit with those people, it can very quickly turn around and start getting good. But if you're with someone who has a lot of fixity, someone who's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, someone with a lot of planets or ascendants on the moon in these four signs, they usually keep the status quo. Either in love with you from the beginning, it will take them so much for them to fall out in love with you. It will take them, they might start gradually, they might not jump with two legs very quickly, because fixed signs, they take up their time. They're a bit like a steam train. They start slowly. They take up their time to really commit to someone, because fixed people, they know that once they commit, they'll be there till the bitter end. They'll hang up there with their clothes. There is no stopping them after that, like a steam train. When it starts moving forward, very initially takes them slow, and then it can burst through walls after that. So, once they have the love for you, you might do a lot of, you might hurt them a lot, and you might take them through hell and back with you, especially say if you're a cardinal sign with a lot of cardinal signs, and you have a lot of ups and downs, and emotionally in your life ups and downs, and you might want to be with someone who has more fixity in their horoscope, because this person can ground you, because this person can run with you through the bitter end, even when you're up and down and when you're changing a lot. such a person can stay with you in the long run. They can stay with less stable people as well if they fall in love initially. If they're not able to fall in love, there might be years, and it might be very hard to make this person turn around and all of a sudden realize, oh my God, I love you. Oh my God, I realize I'm in love with you. They warm up slowly, but when they warm up, once they've loved you, they loved you a long time. They're very loyal. They're very stable. They're persevering. They're like the pillars of societies. They're unyielding and inflexible. And if the relationship gets bad, if they start to feel bad in a relationship, if they start to feel insecure about the relationship, and they make up once their mind that the relationship is not good, in the same way, it's very hard for you to turn them around. And for example, my husband is full of fixed signs. He's Moon in Leo, Sun, Venus, Mercury in Aquarius, so a lot of fixed signs. So I'm very cardinal, so I change all the time. I'm like up and down, and I want changes. And he's there with me persevering. If he was also cardinal, he would also quickly let go. He would, like, when things start changing, he would say, okay, I want something new, and he would run away and get something new. But because he's fixed, he's able to, stay there with me in the long run. And even when I'm obnoxious and horrible, he's made up his mind, and he'll stick it till the bitter end there. But if I really hurt him, or if I really do something to lose his loyalty, to lose his trust, then it's very hard to fix that broken vase with the fixed signs. They're fixed, they can take a lot of punches, they're hard, they're like a rock, but once the rock shatters, it's very hard to glue it back together. So, you can do, let's say you can take them through more ups and downs, these people, but if you do the ultimate hurt, or if they've never really fallen in love with you, or if they've gone in a bad period when things are not going well, it might take them for a very long time for them to change their feelings for you. Usually once they make up their mind, it's for that's it, So you divorce with a fixed sign, it might be, and if it took you many years, it might be after that, it doesn't come back. But you have to know such people will be very loyal, but stubborn at the same time. With you, if you want to make changes into the life of this person, it might take them forever to make a change. But once they make a change, they stick with it. Once they commit, they stick with it. Once they decide to uncommit, you better be careful, because that's it. There is no stopping them. And there is possessiveness there as well in relationships. Scorpio possessive, Leo, Taurus, strongly possessive. Aquarius is not so possessive, but Aquarius is very loyal sign. Aquarius it's more detached sign overall, but we'll speak about each sign separately after that. And Aquarius can usually when we speak about them, they get married a bit later in life as well. They fare better if they get married later. And then they come the dual signs, the mutable signs also called. These are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. They're dual because they're depicted by double-bodied. Usually they're called dual because not two-faced. I don't want to tell you they're two-faced, but these signs are more susceptible to, if you have a lot of important planets there. For example, if you have Venus, planet of relationships, if you have Moon, the planet of feelings, or the Sun, these people can be accommodating for more than one relationship sometimes. If a cardinal sign is not happy with you, they'll just drop you and go for the new next thing, or they'll make some change, or they'll want to make some change with you and see if the relationship improves. But the dual sign, they might accommodate extra person in their life, for example. They might accommodate, because of this duality. I'm not saying these people are cheaters, but more than others, especially Gemini and Sagittarius, to a lesser degree Virgo and Pisces, but this as well, because they're dual, they can have more than one relationship simultaneously, something to be careful about. And they're very adaptable people. They can adapt you, they can adapt another, they can adapt to you and to another person at the same time. And they take to soak up and take the qualities of the environment around them and make them their own. So when you live with a dual sign, someone with a strong Virgo, somewhere, whatever, these people might even like take up some of the expressions you have. If they love you, you'll know if this person loves you, and you'll know if a mutable dual person loves you if they start pick up some of your habits. Because they easily influence, and if they look up to someone, if they're in love with someone, if they love someone, they'll start either even talking like you. Like Gemini, for example, can start doing the accent of the person they're in love with, or saying the same phrases, even Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, they might start accommodating some of your, making some of your behaviors their own. And this is one great sign to see if they're in love with you, to see if they pick up some of your habits, if they pick up some of your qualities. And you can see who they like or what they're attracted to by seeing what they imitate. And they won't do it voluntarily always. They just soak it up. And they're very resourceful as well, which is also good. That's another good thing for them in relationships, because when relationship is going bad or it's difficult, in the worst case scenario, they would adapt to another person very quickly, or they would try to accommodate your, whatever the situation is, and to find new sources how to solve it. And they're very versatile, so they need diversity. A fixed sign can be okay if you always do the same things together, go to the same cinema, eat in the same restaurant. But a dual sign and a cardinal signs as well, they won't change. Cardinal signs want it in a bit more dramatic way. For example, you've always gone here, you met these friends, so you got here for holiday. Cardinals would want to fully change it. From now on, instead of mountains, we go to the seaside or whatever. Dual signs, they would like a little bit of everything, a bit of that, a bit of this, so versatility is very important for them. Maybe on Fridays you have fusion food, on Wednesdays you have Japanese food, whatever. But again, we said because of their accommodating nature, they can be most fickle in relationships, and that's why I've put ... at the end there in your manual, because of, I don't want you, it's always, you can never judge a person just by the modality of their sign, if they're going to cheat or no, not at all. They have to have some strong afflictions in their horoscope, of which we'll talk later. That is very easy to see. But if they have some affliction and they have a lot of mutable energy, a lot of mutable planets, say for instance Venus, the planet of love in Sagittarius, or their ascendant in Virgo, or their moon in Pisces, a few things like that. And they have some afflictions in their love life, which I'll tell you how to find out later. These signs can be the fickle ones. These ones can be the ones that, are more willing to accommodate someone else, let's say. While the cardinals, they'll have a lot of ups and downs in the relationships, but this is also what drives them. Like if for a cardinal sign, if the relationship is always smooth, if always doing the same thing, if there is no ups and downs, no arguments or no moments of ups and downs, the cardinal signs might get bored, might start, and when things go up and down, the cardinal signs feel like alive in the relationships. While dual signs, they can accommodate, but if there are too many ups and downs, and if they're not psychologically so healthy, they will choose the easier path. They will choose where the water flows the easiest. They will choose going downstream rather than battling it up or making some huge changes, or going the tough, running the tough, period. Like a fixed sign would be willing to run through the tough period and persevere in the name of stability and solidity. But the mutable signs, they'll be like, okay, I tried accommodated, I did this and this, it didn't work, it's too much effort, I cannot do cardinal changes like the cardinal moves, so just take the easiest path down. And if someone, is or something or some environment or something is giving them more auspicious circumstances, they would adapt themselves to these people, to these circumstances. So this is the modalities of the sign. In the next part, we're going to speak a little bit about each sign.